New York City in the 1970s was a city of chaos and control, where the Mafia's 5 families ruled from the shadows. Their reach extended everywhere: docks, unions, construction, nightlife, woven into the city's fabric. The Bonanno, Colombo, Gambino, Genovese, and Lucchese families operated like corporations, bound by omerta, the code of silence. For law enforcement, breaking into this world was nearly impossible. The bosses were ghosts, protected by layers of loyalty and fear. The FBI realized that to bring down the Mafia, they needed someone on the inside, someone who could become one of them. This set the stage for one of the boldest undercover operations in history. Before he was Donnie Brasco, the name that would become legendary in the world of undercover law enforcement, he was simply Joe Pistone, a quiet, sharp FBI agent from a humble, working-class Italian-American background. Growing up in Paterson, New Jersey, Pistone learned early on how to read people, how to keep his head down, and how to navigate tough neighborhoods where trust was earned, not given. Pistone's upbringing gave him the instincts, street smarts, and language to blend in with the mob. He understood the subtle codes, the gestures, and the unspoken rules that govern life in tight-knit communities. He excelled at undercover work, earning trust in the gritty world of street crime. Pistone was patient, observant, and knew how to listen, qualities that would prove essential in the dangerous assignments ahead. As the Mafia's code of silence, or omerta, thwarted traditional investigations and kept law enforcement at bay, the FBI realized they needed a new approach, one that would require deep, long-term infiltration and nerves of steel. The stakes were higher than ever and the risks were enormous. Pistone was chosen for his heritage, his skills, and his uncanny ability to disappear into a new identity. He could become someone else entirely, convincing enough to fool even the most suspicious mobsters. He understood the risks, years undercover, cut off from family and friends, living a double life where one mistake could be fatal. Every phone call, every meeting, every moment was a test of his resolve. Living every day as someone else, Pistone had to bury his true identity, never letting his guard down, always watching his back. The mission demanded total sacrifice, but Pistone accepted, ready to vanish into the underworld for as long as it took. He knew he might never return the same. Joe Pistone was about to become Donnie Brasco, stepping into a world where trust was deadly and betrayal meant death. Donnie Brasco wasn't just a name, it was a meticulously crafted identity. Pistone trained as a jewel thief, mastering the trade to make his cover airtight. He learned to think, talk, and act like a mobster, suppressing his instincts as a cop. The transformation was total. He abandoned his family, living as Donnie 24/7, isolated and always on guard. He haunted mob bars and clubs, projecting quiet confidence, waiting for the right moment to be noticed. Months passed as he built his legend, becoming a familiar face in the criminal world. The line between Joe and Donnie blurred, but the mission demanded it. Donnie Brasco, the jewel thief from Florida, was ready to step into the Mafia's world. In 1976, Donnie Brasco, an undercover alias for FBI agent Joe Pistone, caught the eye of Benjamin Lefty Ruggiero, a seasoned and respected soldier in the notorious Bonanno crime family. Lefty was a man who had spent decades navigating the treacherous world of organized crime, and he recognized something in Donnie that set him apart from the usual street hustlers. Lefty saw Donnie as a valuable earner, someone who could bring in money and respect. He took Donnie under his wing, teaching him the Mafia's strict rules, codes of silence, and the subtle etiquette that governed every interaction. For Donnie, this was more than just a cover, it was an immersion into a dangerous new family. Every conversation, every handshake, every glance was a test. Donnie had to prove his loyalty at every turn, all while secretly gathering evidence for the FBI. The stakes were impossibly high. A single slip could mean exposure and certain death. Over time, Lefty began to trust Donnie deeply, confiding in him about the family's secrets, internal struggles, and the constant threats from rival factions. Their relationship grew close, almost like father and son. This trust was both a shield and a burden. Donnie was betraying a man who saw him as family, and the emotional toll was immense. He lived with the constant guilt of deceiving someone who had risked his own life for him. Life under Lefty meant living by the mob's rules, always on call, never truly safe, and constantly surrounded by violence and paranoia. Donnie had to be ready for anything, day or night. He witnessed firsthand how disputes were settled with threats, intimidation, and sometimes deadly force. In this world, respect was earned through fear, not friendship. One mistake, one wrong word, could mean death. But the trust he built with Lefty was his lifeline, keeping suspicion at bay and allowing him to survive in a world where betrayal was everywhere. As Donnie moved deeper into the Mafia, the emotional stakes grew higher. The lines between his real identity and his undercover persona began to blur, and the danger became more personal with every passing day. In the end, the line between friend and target was razor-thin, and Donnie had to navigate it with every ounce of skill and courage he possessed. Donnie's remarkable success with Lefty quickly caught the eye of Dominic's Sonny Black Napolitano, one of the most influential and respected capos in the Bonanno crime family. Sonny Black was known for his sharp instincts and his ability to spot talent, and he saw something special in Donnie. For Donnie, this was both an honor and a new level of risk. He was now under the watchful gaze of a true Mafia heavyweight. Sonny Black promoted Donnie, drawing him deeper into the inner workings of the organization. Donnie was now trusted with major operations, hijackings, high-stakes gambling, and secretive meetings with the family's top brass. He was no longer just an associate, he was becoming a key player, privy to conversations and plans that shaped the family's future. As Donnie sat at the table with the Mafia's leadership, he gained a rare glimpse into the command structure and the unspoken rules that governed every move. He learned how power flowed from the top down, and how loyalty was both demanded and tested. He witnessed the planning and aftermath of violence firsthand. Murders were discussed with chilling detachment, treated as routine business decisions. Donnie had to mask his shock and fear, acting unfazed even as he realized the true cost of life inside the mob. The psychological toll was immense. Every day, Donnie balanced the constant threat of exposure with the pressure to deliver valuable intelligence to the FBI. The information he gathered was unlike anything law enforcement had ever seen, offering an unprecedented look into the Mafia's inner sanctum. Sonny Black began to consider Donnie for the ultimate honor, making him a full member, a made man. This was a rare privilege reserved for those who had truly earned the family's trust. But with this honor came the greatest danger. To be made, Donnie would have to cross a line from which there was no return. The stakes had never been higher, and the risks more personal. The deeper Donnie went, the more perilous his mission became. Every step forward brought him closer to the heart of the Mafia and to the edge of disaster. In 1981, the Bonanno family erupted in internal war. Sonny Black's crew plotted and executed the murder of 3 rival capos, with Donnie present for the planning. Donnie's loyalty was rewarded. He was to be made. But first, he was ordered to kill Anthony Bruno Indelicato. For Pistone and the FBI, this was the breaking point. He could not commit murder. The FBI acted fast, pulling Pistone out just days before the hit. Agents revealed Donnie's true identity to the mob. He was Special Agent Joe Pistone. The 6-year undercover operation ended abruptly. For Pistone, it was a jarring return to reality. For the Mafia, it was the ultimate betrayal. The revelation of Donnie Brasco's true identity sent shockwaves through the Mafia. The Bonanno family became a laughingstock, their code of silence shattered by a federal agent. A $500,000 contract was put on Pistone's life. Sonny Black paid with his life for trusting Donnie, murdered and mutilated as a warning. Lefty Ruggiero, Donnie's mentor, was arrested before he could be killed, saved by the FBI, but forever marked by betrayal. The sense of personal betrayal ran deep. Donnie had been a friend, not just an informant. The story became a cautionary tale, fueling paranoia and distrust within the mob. The fallout was bloody and lasting. Pistone's evidence led to Operation Sun Apple, a devastating federal assault on the Mafia. Hundreds of hours of recordings resulted in over 200 indictments and more than 100 convictions. For the first time, prosecutors exposed the inner workings of a crime family in court. The Bonanno family was crippled, losing its power and place on the Mafia's ruling council. The case proved that deep-cover infiltration could succeed, becoming a model for law enforcement worldwide. Pistone's work changed the balance of power. No one in the Mafia felt safe. The legend of Donnie Brasco poisoned the trust that held the mob together. The fortress had been breached. For Pistone, the end of the mission meant a new life in hiding, with a Mafia contract still on his head. He and his family changed names, moved constantly, and lived under protection. Pistone left the FBI, but the habits of Donnie Brasco were hard to shake. He wrote a best-selling book and consulted for law enforcement worldwide, training new undercover agents. His insights reshaped the fight against organized crime. Despite the danger, Pistone continued his work, turning his sacrifice into a legacy. He remains a legendary figure, a man who risked everything to bring down the Mafia from within. His story is a testament to the personal cost of justice and the power of one person's courage.